Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. The Benevolence back again with another video. I sound a little tired. That's because I actually am, and I've been like on the grind, guys. Like I've been on the grind very crazy. And in that process of being on the ground for so long, I haven't noticed that some of my cameras that I haven't given a lot of love to, and that's mainly this camera. This is actually it's not my first camera, but it's one of the very first camera, and this is the camera I've had the longest. All the camera came and went, and I've kept this. It pretty much has quite a good sentimental value with me, but I'm not a gear holder, so I don't really keep gear and I don't acquire gear, a lot of gears. So this is the Canon that shoot me the most until I got this webcam that I'm using right now with OBS. And as I've told you in my last video, if you haven't checked my last video, please go watch it. It will tell you how you can create content very easily. So that you just get to a point where you start creating content so easy and so fast, and you are not even surprised by the quality of your content. So this is my Canon 800D. This camera has been with me everywhere. I've done campaign, I've done shoot, I've done commercial work, I've done quite a lot with it, and I'm still using it nowadays. I don't know how many photos it has on it. It's probably over 1 million on the shutter, and it's still holding up very, very well. I think I do keep my gear quite well, and I don't really stress them a lot too much. So this is the camera that I bought this camera because I was looking for really proper video autofocus. I was struggling a lot, especially when I started my YouTube channel, because I had the Canon 650D, then I also had the 600D, which I sold pretty last year because I had the 600 until last year. I love the colors from that camera. Then I got myself the 800D just before COVID. It was in 2019, I think, if not 2020. It was in 2019. A pretty bad business decision because but the good thing about Canon, especially here in South Africa, is that they hold the value really well. And even if I sell this camera, I'm not going to be losing a lot of money on it. To be honest, I am definitely not going to be losing a lot of money on this camera. And it's still selling very well. I was looking at the market. I'll show you maybe a picture. Canon 800D. So as you say, I was looking at the market, especially here in South Africa. How much are these cameras going for? And they're still going for quite a lot of money. To be honest, you can still make quite a big bags of money if you have this Canon and you're trying to sell it. And I think it's time for me to exit Canon right now, because I am pretty content with all of my Fuji that I have right now. As I told you last time, I'm looking at the Fuji X-S20. So this is what it's going for here in South Africa. So this one is with the kit lens, obviously, but you can always find stuff secondhand, and that is something that I kind of tell people. The Canon EOS M series in South Africa are one thing that you can really get for cheap, especially secondhand, because those cameras are not really in use so much anymore. So that is something that if you are looking at the camera, you can also consider. So as I say, I was looking at the market. This is my XS20. That's the camera that I want. And I've used a lot of the Fujis in South Africa. I've used most of the Fuji right now. The only Fuji that I haven't used is the X-T5. So it's going for quite a pretty penny. But the good thing about this Fuji, it has very good video specs as well. So I'll show people if there are things that you really want to look at, and you want to really consider when you are looking for a camera. Those are some of the stuff that you need. So the Fuji X-T5 is a camera that I'm looking for. It has two SD card slots. Let's go to this one. So it has two SD card slots, as you can see. So those are some of the things that are very important, especially if you're looking for a camera. Let's reset it to wide. And this is something that I am personally interested in. This 40 megapixel sensor. This is the cream of the crop. I've used it on the X-T5. It looks very good. And the Fuji photos are 14-bit RAW. What are the spec actually on the X-T2? I've been using that camera but I actually don't know the full specs of that camera. So let's go to, you see the Fuji themselves, they don't even have that anymore on the website. So these are the specs of the X-T2. This is the camera that I use for all of my work now. I've been also doing a little bit of video work with that. So you can compare the X-T5 for yourself. You see the X-T5 40 megapixel. The file format is also something that's very, very important. You can shoot 14-bit RAW. That is something that I am impressed about. This is very good for a camera. I don't know, file formats, JPEG, still image, 14-bit. These are also 14-bit RAW. I never knew that these were 14-bit RAW. They don't really feel as good as the X-T50 video photos, especially on the X-T2. The photo don't feel as good as the X-T50. You can't push them so much, but as the website is saying here, these are 14-bit RAW photos. So that's very, very surprising. Let's look at the 800D because that's the camera we are talking about. So the 800D is a little bit which type of photos do they give you, and that is something that it will be. So it's APS-C sensor, obviously, image sensor type. You can't have the ratio is there. So what are the format? The photo format are they raw, obviously, but what are they in terms of the bit depth? So you don't get it here. Yeah, it doesn't give you, but I think there are 12-bit photos, at least, because there is a huge difference between the photo that you get from the X-T2 and the 600, the 800D, and that is one of the reasons why I actually decided to also move, because the details that I could get from those photos are good. And one thing I also didn't like with my, it's not like I really used it a lot, but you have those bright sunlight sometimes, and you can't shoot at ISO, you can't shoot at a shutter speed of 1/8000, which is something that Canon does tremendously with the entry-level camera, like mid-level camera as well. So they block all of the camera to like a very, very, very slow shutter speed. You don't get rid of the higher one. So I've also one reason that also pushed me to move is the ISO performance from my 800D to the X-T2. The ISO performance is very huge. I mean, the comparison is really, really huge. I can easily shoot my X-T2 at ISO 2000. I can't. The 800D, I really can't. The best I can do is ISO 800. I don't even feel comfortable already at ISO 800 because it gets very grainy, and I start really feeling out the photos may fall apart. But one thing I'll give to Canon is they do know how to make a camera grip. The grip on this camera feels so much better than the flat grip I have on the Fuji X-T2. I've been planning to buy a battery grip which comes with 2 extra batteries. I don't know why I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Probably will pull the trigger soon on that, because yeah, it does give a bit more heft to the camera, and it also unlocks a little bit more of the specificity and some of the features and the specs of the camera, especially when you're shooting videos. You can go up to 30-minute record limit. And speaking of video, 800D can't shoot 4K video. So all the video that you shoot, you see that I shoot with my Canon, I have video that I've upscaled to 400 to 4K. So that's it. That's what it is, and you can't do much about it. I like the fact that it has a pop-up flash. So there's a bit of a pop-up flash here. So that's good, especially for film. When you are shooting at night, those are things that it's an extra added bonus. Obviously on professional camera, this is a professional camera, you don't find a pop-up flash. And yeah, So the control at the back, this is very controversial. It's not touchscreen on the X-T2. The Fuji, the Canon has put touchscreen on the camera for quite so long, and they've probably one of the best integration of touchscreen camera. The menu is touchscreen and everything is touchscreen. It's just so easy to use compared to the Fuji. That I'm going to give those points to Fuji. And yeah, so I'm reading the photo here. RAW plus L, no possible. So yeah, the camera, the file size is camera original. So RAW 14-bit. It's a 14-bit RAW, and I am quite surprised because the file size on the Canon are very maybe like 30% smaller than the Fuji. So if I have like a Fuji photo and I take a Fuji photo lossless RAW, and it's like it's probably like a 42 megapixel in general, and the same photo with a Canon is going to be like 28 30 megapixel. I never understand the difference, but it plays quite a very important role, especially when you are editing those photos. So you can see here on this screen, so it does say that it's 14-bit RAW. Pretty surprised. And here we have the movie recording formats of the camera. There is even a 640 by 480. I don't even know how, and I don't even know why you have something like that. So the only relevant one is the 1920 by 1080. So those are the one. Movie length, obviously there is a limit per 30 minutes. So custom function, 15 custom function. I have never seen the custom function button. That's also one thing that I can literally tell you. And one thing that I really also find very good when I move to Fuji is that you can assign all the buttons to a specific function, which is really good, which you can't do with the Canon. I can't assign those buttons. They already kind of even hinked on them. They like white balance, drive, autofocus, and picture profile. So that's something that I kind of never really liked. But anyway, that's in terms of comparison, that's as far as I can go, because there's so many things that we can actually talk about when it comes to these cameras. Canon has its pros. I'm actually thinking about getting a full frame camera because Fuji doesn't offer full frame camera. So if Fuji started offering full frame camera, I'm probably going to be moving completely to Fuji. I'm still gonna hold on to my Canon glasses. Are also much more available here in South Africa, so doesn't make sense to move all the way to Fuji because I'll struggle to get new glasses, and those glasses don't come cheap. I've spotted the 50 to 150. I'm probably gonna get that, but it's about what? Just to look at the price. So if we're looking at the price, I'll show you guys what it looks like so you can see for yourself. I don't want to be gatekeeping stuff, so you can see it's about 20k. That's expensive. Let me just put it like that. That is expensive. But actually, if you really want to start like a YouTube channel, this probably will be a camera that I would advise, but only because of the size. I might say, I put it down there because there are smaller cameras that are coming with really good spec. That is the reason why I'm still holding on to my G5X here, because it's a camera that's kind of dear to me as well, and it offers quite good image quality, especially when it comes to videos. It's not too bad. You find a little bit of like an upgrade compared to like shooting on a cell phone or something like that. So this was just me rambling about my 800D, and then it got to a point where I was comparing it with the Fuji X-T2, the camera that I'm using. But I told you guys that I'm really planning to get myself a better, like a more modern camera, because all of these cameras that I have right now are starting to show their ages, especially when I'm shooting. So the plan is obviously to get a newer and more recent camera that came out. So we are going to be looking at the Fuji X-S20 or the Fuji X-T5. Might even go up the notch to the Fuji X-H2. Those are some of the cameras that I'm also really considering. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'll see you in the next video, and peace out.